All right, we've still got some people joining us, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to What to Do with Your PPC Budget During the COVID-19 Outbreak. This is a webinar brought to you by Oozle Media and our Google partners. This is Stephanie. I'm the COO at Oozle Media, and today I'm joined by Darragh, who is an agency manager on our Google team that helps support Oozle as a premier partner. Darragh, are you there?
Stephanie, hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Darragh, can you see my
Great.
screen?
I can see your screen, yes.
Okay, perfect. Hey, thanks for being with us today, Darragh.
No problem at all. Listen, I'm really happy that you gave me the opportunity to jump on and just give some insights from Google to your clients.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we are just excited to share some data that's hopefully going to give us all guidance in these uncertain times and really unprecedented times. You know, nobody's navigated, I think, this through their marketing budget before. And we've got some early data and some pretty good strategies and tactics that are starting to form that we want to share with clients and even people who aren't Oozle clients to help you guys with your businesses and your marketing budgets. So let's jump in and get started. Darragh, I want to start with you. Talk to us about some of the things businesses should be doing with their ads right now to feel helpful to their potential clients and customers.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, COVID-19 is really changing the landscape for us all, and I think every business, is experiencing a unique set of challenges. But I think everybody, in some capacity, is being impacted by it all. So, as you said, like really unprecedented times. 78% of the U.S. workforce are now at home. I saw a stat this morning that said there's 32.5 million children back in the house as well. So, just first off, I wanted to really say thanks very much for everyone coming on today as well. It's crazy, crazy times. But like you said, listen, I think there's a really good opportunity here to try and navigate through the turbulence. So really what we're seeing right now in terms of like consumer sentiment and as a ad strategy communication basis, really what we're seeing is brands, they need to appear helpful and empathetic. We're really trying to build a positive consumer intent. Okay. We don't have an end period for COVID-19 yet, but it's really important that brands are present and directly communicating to their customers through this. And fingers crossed, we'll come out the other end, and there will still be a lot of demand for these products and services. So really, what we're looking for is empathetic engagement with a positive tone. Really being transparent in your fulfillment and decision making. Any decisions that are going to affect your schools or organizations or anything like that that will have an impact on the students, it's better to be upfront and transparent about it. As I kind of touched on, and we'll talk about later on as well, a lot of people at home now, there's a lot more demand coming from platforms like video, mobile in particular. So really what we want to see is, like, for a lot of clients, really kind of try and have a fluid and native digital experience as much as possible. Making sure that your website is actionable, it's easy to navigate, that the information that they're looking for, especially if they're coming from mobile, is readily available. Mobile in particular is we're seeing huge spikes in mobile traffic across all verticals at the moment, but traditionally education in itself has always been a big career driver for mobile. Before COVID-19, but if we look back at historical statistics, on average 58% of all searches coming from like post-secondary education are coming from mobile. So really important to think about site speed, fluidity, what's the user experience like. Very small little tweaks that you can make to get this information out, or maybe AMP pages or anything like that, can make a big difference when your potential customers or existing customers are coming to your site. And really that kind of feeds in then again to any of your advertising, anything like that. Make sure it's adding value as well, be it for prospecting or speaking to your existing customer base. And really remember, as I'll really again go back to it, that empathetic engagement, and kind of really show your clear commitment to those brand values, because people will remember the brands that have been there and that have spoken to them, and they want to remember why they chose your school or your organization in the first place as well. And above all, when it comes to education, students, they're looking to their schools and their universities and their colleges for leadership, advice, and direction. It's really important that we maintain that online presence for that.
Yeah, I agree. That's super helpful stuff to think about as we look at all of our advertising right now.
Mhm.
You mentioned you guys are seeing a spike in usage. You want to speak to that a little bit about what you guys saw in other areas that were quarantined earlier?
Yeah, so listen, again, unprecedented times, right? So people are, a lot of people at home again, and really, bottom of the line is people are trying to, they're trying to fill out their days. They're trying to combat boredom, essentially. So we're seeing a lot of, spikes for people that are looking at things to do at home, studying with me, cooking with me. Even though we're distant, people are still looking to come together a lot. People are looking to learn. People are thinking about, maybe now is the time to do something that I've been putting off for a long period of time. We're also seeing as well big spikes. We'll talk about it later on video platforms, OTT platforms, all that sort of stuff. Huge increases in week on week content streaming, and games, app downloads, everything in countries like China, Italy, who have been under quarantine for longer periods than us. Again, YouTube is really, in terms of watch times and search times on YouTube right now, that we're seeing triple digit increases week over week.
Wow.
And as I touched on as well, sorry, just one last thing, Steph. Again, if the data that we're seeing right now, and anybody can go and look at this again, via Oozle, or looking on Google Trends, or reaching out to your Google team if you have one. But we are seeing spikes for searches in online courses, change of careers. People are looking to see what's next, or maybe what I'll need to do next as a result of what's happening with COVID-19. So there's a lot happening at home right now.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I mean, I do think people, as we get kind of settled into what people are calling the new normal, just being at home
Yes.
for the foreseeable few weeks, I agree. I think the mind shift starts to set or
Hmm.
move to, but what's going to happen next? What should I be doing next? Or what does the world look like for me when things get back to normal?
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's speak a little bit. I want to speak a little bit to how this should impact the way you're thinking about your PPC ads right now. And we're going to speak to this from our viewpoint, which is how Oozle runs PPC ads and what we're doing with our clients' PPC budgets right now, and the strategies and the tactics that we're taking. So I want to address three main areas. There are search ads. So these are the ads that when somebody goes to Google and types in a keyword, if it's related to your business, and you have good people running your PPC ads, your ad is going to show up for that search. There are display ads, which are visual reminders to people of who you are and invite them to interact with you. I usually call them kind of like the billboards of the internet. This is where people go to another website or another place and they're still reminded of your brand and still see a visual cue of your business. And then there are YouTube ads. And, I think most of us know what these are. These are, 6 to 30-second ads that play before or during YouTube videos. And what we're seeing here is a lot of people are coming to us and saying, okay, I'm starting to come up with a game plan. I've taken care of the most important thing for my business first, which is really my people. And now I need to look forward into what's next for my business and what is the bare minimum I need to be spending on PPC right now. And here's what I have to say about that. I do think the last 2 weeks have been, even the last few days have been uncertain. All of us have been kind of waiting on Congress to see what kind of relief is going to happen at a federal level for small businesses. A lot of us are talking about payroll, our people. Totally get it. And we're still trying to get clarity and answers there. I think that for PPC, because at least the search network is really based on demand, that it is totally fine to let the market dictate the demand or your budget right now. Because what I think is going on is we're already seeing that, yes, demand for search has gone down as more people are paying attention and want to get information on the virus. We've already had signals that, our normal budgets for this time of year, we're probably not going to hit those just using search. And so, in my opinion, one of the best things you could be doing for your business is, if there is still demand there, if people are getting settled in at home and are starting to look to other things, you don't want to miss out on that. You don't want to miss the opportunity to have your brand, your business showing up for those searches. Um, so I already think, your budget is naturally going to go down on its own given the current circumstance. But for what demand there is, you should be spending there. And it's an opportunity to fill a vacuum where other people might be pulling back their ad spend as well. But if I have to give, a hard number to people, I'm really recommending, Oozle's really recommending, you got to be spending a minimum of $1,500 per month for the month of April, really per location that you have. And let's talk about what that $1,500 is going to get you. That's probably going to cover search, maybe a little bit for display, but it's not really going to leave you much budget for YouTube. And, to your point, Darragh, like you said, actually, there's been a huge spike in how many people are spending time in YouTube. So again, I think you've got to be, as a business owner, you've just got to think through, okay, if somebody's actively going to Google and searching for something related to my school or my business, I want to be there because that person is clearly already in the mindset of thinking about making a decision regarding their dollars, regarding their time, regarding their education and their skills in the future. If I don't show up on YouTube and display, I'm not actively driving more people to check me out. And so again, the bare minimum of 1,500, why we're recommending that and where that number comes from is, we really want, at the very least, for businesses, schools, our clients that we work with, to still be showing up for the demand that is happening and that is there. So let's look at some charts that we have as Oozle. And I know that maybe the first reaction to this chart is, whoa, that's a steep drop off. And let me tell you what you're looking at right now. So this is a chart that shows the clicks and the conversions for search network ads between February 1st and March 23rd. So that's just, a couple days ago. And we were already seeing a seasonal decline, the same seasonal decline that happens every year from January into February. But you can tell, about mid-March, there is just a huge drop off. And that's really when, things started hitting the fan, so to say. And a lot of people were turning all their attention towards, what's going on with COVID-19, what's happening in my state, what's happening in my life with my job. And so you do see the search demand go down. But the other thing I want to point out is, this chart is not just an indication of demand for queries. This is also showing people coming and stopping their budgets for a small period of time while they figure out what they're going to do next as a business. And while those budgets are completely paused, there is no opportunity to get any clicks or any conversions for the demand that is still there. And so even though there is, a steep drop off, what I see in this chart is opportunity. And I want to speak to that more with some other charts that we have coming up next. So this is another chart from the same time period, and this shows the clicks and impressions, so how many people are seeing ads that are on the display network on Google. So again, we talked about the 3 kinds of ads. Search ads are when somebody goes in and types in a keyword. The display network is not necessarily generated by search demand. It's the billboards that show up to people and remind them who you are and what you do. And if you look at the same place where search dropped off, we do see a drop here, but now we're seeing an uptick in the number of clicks and impressions that display ads are getting. And again, the way that we're reading this, that we're kind of interpreting this, is once people get settled in at home, it still may not occur to them to go search for your business. And that's why you have to go knock on their door. You have to go show up in front of them and remind them, oh yeah, I have been thinking about maybe changing my career, getting a different kind of education, getting a different kind of skill set, investing money in this product, buying this sort of thing. When that attitude shifts towards, okay, I kind of understand what's happening in my state. I have a general idea of, the news is sort of telling me the same thing every day. Then they look to, like you said, Darragh, they're going to look to fill their time. Give them something to click on. Go knock on their door and say, hey, do you want to spend some time with me? And that's where, we're making that shift into display and YouTube for the budget that we're not spending on search, because we know that we can't rely on people to remember looking for us. We got to go actively show up in front of them. And the brands that do that are the ones who are setting themselves up for success once things get back to normal, because you're going to have brand recognition. You're going to have people who have interacted with your brand. You're basically warming potential clients and students up for when they're ready to pull the trigger and jump back into things. And then this chart right here, this is the same period of time, and this is a combination of search and display ads. The impression line, so how many people are seeing the ads, and then the red line, that's the blue line, and then the red line is the average cost per click. And here's why I really like this chart, is for me, this chart shows opportunity, because you look again at that mid-March drop and what happened. The average cost per click is falling, but the number of impressions that you're getting are going up. And so a way to think about this time right now with your marketing dollars is PPC ads are on sale, basically. For the amount of money, look even just 2 weeks ago, the amount of money that you would spend, the average cost per click, the impressions, the number of impressions that you got were lower. And now look at how many eyeballs you could get in front of for a lower cost per click. So I think that that's something to keep in mind. And this is where, we talk about, yes, there's an initial reaction where we all have to stop and think about the most important things: our people, what's going to happen next for our business, get a game plan together. But for the companies who have done that and are now focusing on their marketing dollars, I'm just going to flip back. This is the opportunity that is happening right now. And I think that this is what we mean by, you should maybe let the market determine your PPC budget. We want to keep budgets open. These are sort of general campaign best practices that we're still maintaining at Oozle for our clients. So it's keeping budgets open and letting the budgets adjust to the current demand. The second part is maintaining bids, especially on automation. Google's algorithm is still going to optimize your dollars to have the best conversions possible for you. And then, closely monitor your conversion rates, see what's happening, see what kind of leads you're getting, what kind of conversations you're happening. Monitor performance program by program. There might be some areas, maybe you have a school in a harder hit area than another area, or a business or a location in an area that's harder hit than another area. Look at what's happening program by program, product by product, location by location. And then, of course, for our clients, we're going to leverage audience exclusion. We know that your current clients, your current students, your current customers are going to be visiting your website more right now. We don't want to spend ad dollars on people who are already spending money and time with you. So we're going to exclude those people from the folks that we're retargeting and showing ads to. Darragh, is there anything that you would want to add to that, or do you think we covered stuff pretty thoroughly there?
No, I definitely think you've covered it very thoroughly. So yeah, there's like you said, right, in all respectfulness, there's opportunity in the market right now. People have had to pull back, but there's a lot of people um, who are still online. CPCs are dropping. Things are becoming a little more affordable right now amid the chaos. And there's and which is really encouraging, I think, from your slides as well, is that we can see from a display perspective, from impressions as well, that there's the consumer sentiment is that there's, it's people are trying to keep it as business as usual and just go, amid the chaos, and they're still thinking about, well, in December, maybe I was thinking about retraining or reskilling myself. Even things have the current climate has maybe delayed that slightly. I'm still thinking about that further down the line, and I think what we're seeing from your clients' data points is really selling that as well. And the fact that now, like your digital billboards, right? I love that as well. I think I'll keep that. But again, it tells us that, like you said, there's more eyeballs on the screens, that people are now engaging more with search, but also across websites as well, and across video platforms. So we're seeing those impression accounts increase because there's more demand, and ultimately because there's more eyeballs on the screen. So yeah, you nailed it. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think the other thing that I really liked that you guys told us, and maybe you want to speak to this a little bit, is that we got to stay flexible, nimble right now, and businesses and brands do need to adapt to change and what's happening right now.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, it's an interesting slide. Just really talking again about kind of sentiment and government and corporate responses really to COVID, and really what, as I touched on in my first couple of slides, is that people are looking to their respective brands for guidance, for transparency, for empathy, and really, the brands, and even at the bigger organization level and governments who got out ahead of this, and have really been transparent and addressed the situation as well. Addressed, because people are scared, people are worried. This isn't, as much as people are trying to be business as usual, people need to adjust. And I think really the brands who've come out ahead of that and have accepted that and spoke to it as well, there's been a very positive consumer sentiment. And you will see when, please God, when all of this calms down, there will be a noticeable gap for the brands who decided to not be customer facing right now, who have kind of retreated as opposed to actually stood their ground, and have been on the forefront of it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I think one of the things that we're seeing, and again, I just want to bring this chart up again, is I'm really um, seeing, even amongst our clients, how admirable it is that some of them are saying, no, we're not gonna hunker down right now. We do feel like now's the time to even double down on certain things, and what we want to make sure of is that people do remember us, they do remember our name. And so where we're shifting a lot of budgets for our clients is we're doing a lot more YouTube, we're doing a lot more display. We want that halo effect from brand recognition when things get back to normal. So, we're again making sure that we've got those billboards up for people. We're running some ads. I want to, maybe look at one if I can get it to play here. This is for a retail client of ours. And one of the things that we're pairing with this, that we're going to pitch is sort of this idea of, hey, you know, if you're really a retailer that focuses on getting out and being out amongst national parks are taking a hit right now with the loss in tourism. Why don't we donate, you know, some of the proceeds of these sales to national parks? Let people feel like they're not only buying, you know, an awesome shirt for when they're ready to get out again, but also that they're helping the cause and pulling together to help someone that might be hit by tourism falling. You know, so we're finding creative ways to still get in front of people, keep positivity, keep them looking at the future, giving them something to click on, giving them something to interact with. So Darragh, let's talk more about, why is now the time to invest more in your branding?
Yeah. So again, you know, as you can see, we're seeing if brands are pulling back, right, that means there's an opportunity to increase your own share of voice at a much cheaper cost. And we've seen, you know, the proof is in the pudding there. We've seen where we're seeing CPCs drop across the board. We're also seeing cost per view, so how we charge on YouTube essentially, that are starting to decrease as well, because there's more inventory available right now, as certain advertisers are moving in different directions. So and the great thing is, I mean, when if categories are pulling back right now, there's an opportunity for you guys to go in there and have a big impact with your branding. And again, typically with watch times right now, seeing triple-digit increases over the last couple of weeks, and typically, the time that was spent maybe doing sports or hanging out with friends or going to the theater is now shifting to watching videos at home. And again, from a branding perspective, on search and on YouTube, it's a big opportunity to capture a big portion of that.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, again, we talked about increased YouTube watch. People are spending time that they would have normally, you know, been like, oh, it's finally spring, we're going to get outside. No, we have to stay home. One of the platforms that they're turning to for entertainment is definitely YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about some YouTube ad ideas. Just, you know, Darragh, what are some things that you've seen work well in a good YouTube ad? What are some of the tools that are available to us to make YouTube ads as brands, as businesses?
hmm So, I think, from a perspective, YouTube can reach probably, I think, give or take 96, 97% of the US market. If you're looking on a global perspective, YouTube reaches about 1.8 to 2 billion active users. Okay. So, but, YouTube is a place where people come to watch. It's, they can watch, they can watch some content that they're really interested in. They can reskill, they can change their lives, they can really do whatever they want. And it's really the great thing that I like about YouTube is we call it plug and play. It's pretty easy to get onto YouTube. You don't need to have a Hollywood studio in your office. There's a lot of great resources from building ads from scratch or editing existing videos, video content to work on YouTube, that Google and Oozle both offer, and you can get a lot of via Oozle. We give Oozle a lot of brand new kind of go-to-market alphas and betas. These are products that the mass market wouldn't get yet, so we turn to our larger partners to try and test and iterate them and give us feedback on them. So we have some really great tools right now that will take some of your existing content, if you have it, chop it down, repurpose it. You can add your own branding, logos to it, call to actions, everything like that, and really make it, you can turn content from zero to hero really, really quickly. And the great thing I think about YouTube is that I'll go back to that kind of Hollywood analogy again. It's just some of the most successful ads we've seen are the scrappiest. They're the ones that you can see that you've put your heart and soul into, and not these big budget ones. And I think and I think we'll talk about it in a couple of minutes, but I think what makes the YouTube so successful as well is it's the targeting that goes in behind it, and our ability to put that ad in front of somebody who's showing super high levels of intent right now. And as you can see here, look, people are turning to online video all the way through, right? You look at home workouts, coping techniques, pantry meals. Listen, I've cooked more this week than I probably cooked in the last year. So I know my wife is very happy. I've actually done a lot of that from searching online as well. And the big one I think is relevant to a lot of people on the line here today is study with me. So people are really trying to take this time. As maybe not, a lot of people are playing video games, but there's still have a lot of people who are like, well, listen, I'm going to upskill myself in this time as well. And that's a big opportunity for people. And going back to it, some of the best and easiest creatives we've seen are ones that we've taken some of maybe your social assets, your skills that you're using right now. We stitch them together using our teams, or taking maybe some of your longer form content that you have and working with Oozle and Google to chop that down and pull the right messaging out of it.
Oh, totally. I mean, that's something that Oozle is kind of going full pedal to the metal right now with our clients as far as making YouTube videos. Is we know that user generated content, student generated content, feels very real, it feels very relatable, and it's very trustworthy. It's very easy to put together those images into a YouTube video. And so I don't want people to feel overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, everything that's going on, and I wish I would have made a YouTube ad 2 months ago. I mean, sure, but that doesn't mean, like you said, it's tooled to be something where we can get going pretty fast there.
Yes.
And as long as we have some images, if you have a partner like Oozle who is seasoned, knows how to get those ads turned around pretty fast and get them up and going, though, that's a great opportunity, a place to be nimble, a place to move fast right now. And really what we're talking about here is you're not going for the hard sell right now. We're not trying to get people to commit to us right now. I think there will be some people who may be ready, but I think right now you got to look at this as there is a long-term payoff for running ads, and that is gathering data, right? Darragh, one of the favorite things I've taken away from some of our meetings in the past is your ad performance is better with better data. If you feed it good data, you're going to have the Google algorithm working for you in a strategic, optimized way that your competitors may not. And that's why we want people to still be engaging with our display ads, with our YouTube ads. Not only are we showing up, knocking on their door and inviting them to participate with our brand, but we're also gathering information for the people who do choose to interact with those ads. We're building really great audiences to hit with a hard sell down the road, rather than having none of that data and just trying to shotgun it once things get back to normal.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's about pipeline building as well, and about getting that data and really capitalizing on right now when there are so many people sitting at home, there are so many people searching, and bringing that data in. And if you take someone who has maybe interacted with your video or interacted with your website, we can take that data and we can talk to that person further down the line when they're maybe ready to make a more concrete decision. And from a video perspective as well, I mean, we can do it from a branding perspective where we're trying to generate awareness, or and you guys have had a lot of success with this as well, but actually using video more as a direct response and a lead generating asset as well, where we're actually looking to get information from the user while they're watching the video as well. So we can really make sure that we're taking that information while it's very top of mind.
Yeah, exactly. And that really is, the whole point of, we know that this isn't going to last forever. I mean, I certainly hope not. But the marketing, but this is what's been true pre-COVID-19. This was true last year. We know as an agency, the dollars that our clients invest today really bear fruit over the next year. This is the consistency in maintaining a marketing budget, letting it snowball, letting it gain momentum like a flywheel, so that it can work for you over time. And we're telling people, we've seen this to be true with our data. Somebody can see an ad 6 months ago and still come back and visit your website, and you can't discount the initial brand interaction that they had and how that eventually leads to a conversion down the road. So I think
Hmm.
we want to emphasize to folks, this is part of the importance of working with a partner. We know that one of the benefits of having an agency when you're a small business is that you do get to essentially hire experts, but not have to pay, their full salary, the full cost of having that expert in-house day in, day out. And one of the things that we're really proud of is that Oozle is a premier Google partner. We're working with Darragh and his team directly, like he said, to get access to the latest tools, the latest ways to optimize. We get direct consulting on some of our clients' accounts with Google. It's just an awesome partnership for us to have, and we know that our clients are getting the benefit of that. And so we just want to make sure that our clients and people who haven't worked with Oozle yet know that there is an opportunity to take advantage of that partnership by working with Oozle, by letting us help you during this time. And I really think now is a great time, that we want to be having conversations with people. We want to be consulting with small businesses and just saying, look, here's the opportunity that we see. Again, you've got to make decisions based on what's right for your business right now. The most important things, we understand people come first, but also keeping an eye towards longevity and coming out the other side and having, a pipeline of people who you can hit with sales ads and conversion ads, and knowing that, other people in your market may not be taking advantage of that. And so if you have questions, if you want us to just, if you want to just have a conversation specifically about your business right now, go fill out the contact form on the Oozle Media website. There is a box there that says, how can we help? Give us some specific questions. That's what we're hearing from people is, I want the general information, but then I want to know how that applies specifically to my business right now and my situation. Start that conversation with us. We've got people who are ready to listen to what's going on with your business, give you some advice, let you know the ways that we can help. And again, our intention here is, we only succeed if our clients succeed, and we also are a small business too. We want to make sure that everybody knows we're in this together, and we want to fight with you to come out on the other side, where everyone has the opportunity to grow and thrive, once things get back to normal. So we've got the contact form there. Go fill it out, speak with us. And I think right now what we'll do is, we'll take some questions from the audience. Let me see if I can find this. Okay, so we have a question. Are you seeing any difference in levels of interest between different programs? This is from a beauty school person, I think. Like the difference between interest in aesthetics, Cosmo, and barbering. And I can speak, generally to this. I don't think that the outbreak has changed a lot of the patterns that we were already seeing, and that a lot of schools were already seeing and feeling that work in the beauty school realm. And that's that aesthetics are still very popular. Cosmo has seen a decline in demand. Barbering, I would say, there was like an initial spike, and then it kind of went down, and now I think it's holding fairly steady. So I haven't seen COVID-19 have a direct impact on, demand for certain programs. But I do think that, there is still a lot of interest around skin. Right now, a lot of the content that we are making for our clients is focused on things like hair care routines to do when you're at home, skin routines to do when you're at home. And the reason why we're creating content like that is we're saying, okay, there's a chance that if somebody is interacting with that kind of content, we're going to ask them the next question, which is, hey, have you ever thought about doing this as a profession? Do you have a secret love or passion of beauty that has kind of always been in the back of your mind? Do you want to learn more about career opportunities or education opportunities, and letting them opt in to that next level of content, which sends us a clear signal that this is somebody who, down the line, we want to hit them with an ad that says, hey, it's time to follow your passion, your dream. Let's get school started for you. Let's get you rolling. Darragh, another question that I know we touched on again was the opportunity for YouTube ads to not be like a big Hollywood production, but to kind of just get in, and use some of the tools that are available to you, or get your partner like Oozle making some videos like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, right now, there's some opportunities for some self-service video making tools that you can use from within Google Ads. That if you're a current partner with Oozle, you're in luck. You'll have access to them. They're part of our beta program at the moment. And if you're not, I would definitely suggest getting in touch and seeing what's available. And also, there's a great team I know from the creative side in Oozle as well. But really, I really want to drive across some of the most successful videos that I've seen. Again, super low production. Either they've taken some of their assets, maybe that they're using on Facebook or any other social channels, and they're stitching those images together, and they're overlaying that with some good music as well. Or also, maybe they've done some longer form, maybe they've done some campus tours, or student testimonials and things like that. That's what people are interested in, right? And they're all, that long form, 2, 3, 4 minutes of content, and they can use our services as well to cut that right down. And again, I mean, we charge on YouTube, we charge on a cost per view basis. A cost per view in the US right now is anywhere between 1 and 2 cents. And that's if they watch 30 seconds of your ad. So, there's a lot there. I think the only other thing I would add in as well is that people come to YouTube to watch stuff. It's more of a lean in platform as opposed to maybe some more of the passive kind of scrolling platforms. And what I mean by that is that sight and sound, so audibility and viewability are really, really important on YouTube. 97% of people will will watch YouTube with the sound on. So take that into account as well, when you're thinking about those assets as well. Really important, again, to think about that. And my other little pro tip for everybody out there right now, if you're like me, probably a pro tip post COVID-19 or before, but I never bring a phone charger with me, so I'm always on low power mode. When you're on low power mode, your phone automatically dims. So if somebody's watching a YouTube video, it may look like that you just haven't put enough light into your video. So expert tip right now is actually to create your video.
Oh, Darragh, are you there? Sounds like we might have lost Darragh, but I think where he was going with that is to make sure that your YouTube videos are bright, have a lot of light, which is a good pro tip for sure in making videos. And then I see one more question. We're going to go ahead and answer one more question here before we wrap up. It's relating to Google reviews and ratings right now for businesses. I do know, and I think we addressed this in our webinar yesterday related to SEO, but Google has suspended new reviews during this time period. We know that there is a danger to small businesses who we understand are human. They're just trying to figure out things like the rest of us. And there's a danger that, people might jump all over them for making the wrong call or for not doing something fast enough. So I do believe that reviews have been suspended. New reviews have been suspended right now.
They have, yeah.
Yeah, but to your point, Darragh, I think that this is a really powerful time to have ads running that are testimonials that do bolster your credibility and who you are as a brand, and hearing that from other people. who are currently interacting with your brand, who already use you, and letting your biggest advocates do some marketing for you.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, I just want to say thank you again to everyone who attended. We are going to have a replay on this webinar available on our blog. We're also going to email it out. And again, get in touch with us if you need help with your PPC campaigns right now. If you need help making a YouTube video, fill out the form on Oozle's website. We want to do what we can to help everybody get through this period of time. And Darragh, thank you for your time today.
No problem.
And we'll be speaking with you soon. And watch for the replay, everyone.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.